Good morning, and welcome to the public hearing for Resolution 2025-02, amending and fixing the schedule of sewer rates and charges to add to a nonprofit billing line. I'll call this public hearing to order and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All sanitary commissioners are present. There are no excused absences. With that, we will open up the floor for our public hearing topic, and I already stated that. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. If anyone would like to approach the podium and give public comment, now is that time. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hearing no nays, the public hearing is now closed. We will now go into our regularly scheduled board meeting. This is the February 19th, 2025 Board of Sanitary Commissioners meeting. We will go into general public comment at this point. This is not on any particular item on the agenda, so any members of the public wishing to approach the podium, they will have 3 minutes to make whatever statements they wish. Seeing none, we will move into the consideration of the February 5th, 2025 board minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve those February 5, 2025 minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Hearing no nays, motion passed. Board minutes for February 5th, 2025 are approved. We'll now move to consider the register of claims totaling $621,708.93. Would any commissioner like to speak on any of the claims presented to them? Mr. Clark?
Just covering, you see disposal service is what we pay through East Central Indiana Recycling, $177,436. There's also a $15,000 partnership that we do with Downtown Development. We offer some cleanup work and help out with some of the events that are going on throughout the year with downtown. And then I also saw we have a $4,000 flow monitoring, and I believe that is out on the north end of town monitoring, which has started again, flow from our partners at is it the Hamilton Delaware Regional District. So that's about all I have to cover on these.
Mr. Overton?
Not today.
All right. Mr. Selvey?
Nothing.
Mr. Smith?
Nothing today, thank you.
All right. Hearing nothing else, I will entertain a motion to approve the register of claims.
Motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Hearing none opposed, claims are approved. We will now move on to the district administrator update with Mr. Rick Conrad.
Good morning. Rick Conrad, District Administrator. Just a few updates today. I did want to mention that we're still making pretty good progress on our levee tieback construction. We're getting some pretty good feedback and response times from the Army Corps, which we're very happy to receive, and we hope that we will be on schedule to begin that construction in spring as we had planned. We've been going through a lot of rate adjustments this year, and Commissioner Clark had some questions about the information that were on our sewer bills, and he pointed out that now that we're relying a little bit more on user classes, that information was not very obvious on individual bills, so we have added that information to every user's sewer bill so they can see which class they're put in. If you're, residential is fairly straightforward, but some of the institutional, governmental, commercial, we have had a few questions about those, and in a few cases, we have made some changes where the particular user fit better in a different category. We're also going to try and better itemize all of the expenses that are on the bill, so it won't just say the class, but it'll actually show you your the rates that you're paying and how they're itemized, so you can calculate those and see those a little more clearly at home. We also have instituted an appeal process that's a little bit more formal than what we've done in the past. So if you see anything on your bill that you question, your first step is you can call billing and they'll try and explain what they have on record for you. But if you have any disputes or you'd like to appeal how you're being classified, there's a procedure on there to submit that information in writing. That will be reviewed here, and then we'll get a response back to you. Like I said, there have been a few cases where those needed to be changed. I think overall we're in pretty good shape, but I wouldn't guarantee that there's not one or two outliers out there as well. And we have finished our interview process for bond counsel for some anticipated bans and bonds that we'll be needing in the future. We have reviewed 4 separate firms, and we will be moving ahead with Ice Miller. And that is it for my updates. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to field them.
Thank you, Mr. Conrad. Mr. Clark, any questions?
Yeah, Rick, thanks for addressing the billing description side. That was something that Mr. Harmon, I think at last meeting, his local business owner, made note of that. And then I thought, I really haven't even looked at it on my bill. So comparing to the water company and what Indiana, Michigan provides, there's a bit more detail, and I think that will help our customers immensely. So thanks to Mr. Harmon for pointing that out, and thank you to you for addressing it.
Thank you, Mr. Overton.
I appreciate the good job, Rick, and appreciate Mr. Clark spearheading that last effort, too. He's done a great job.
Mr. Selby.
Apropos, that is all.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conrad. No further
you.
questions. All right. Next up, we have a department head update with Mr. Jason Donati, Sanitation Superintendent.
Good afternoon. I'm going to give you a report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jason. Good to see you. Good to see you.
My apologies to Commissioner Selvey. I'll email this report to you as soon as I get back to the office.
Thanks, Jason.
Well, good afternoon, Board. Just want to give a kind of a 2024 overview of the work that our department did last year and talk about what we're doing right now. I want to start off by just showing my gratitude and appreciation for our employees in that department, especially during this cold weather, out there as essential workers working in the cold and making sure that all of this gets taken care of our community is important work, and we have a great team, and I'm thankful for all of them. I won't go through all of these numbers because there's quite a bit, but what I've done in this report is I've broken up our recycling numbers and our trash numbers. So just a couple points about the recycling program. As you know, it's still growing. It's still a new program. The community's accepted it pretty good. They're learning the program pretty good. We're still working with some people as far as not putting materials in bags, but we're collecting a lot of material, and we're collecting it cleaner and more efficiently than we have in the past. Our tonnage for what the trucks have picked up has grown significantly compared to what we did last year, so that's a good thing. We offer county-wide recycling drop-off. There's a drop-off box at East Central Recycling that anyone in the county, a resident, can drop off material, and that's also where we encourage people to drop off bulk cardboard and stuff like that. We've expanded our school recycling programs a little bit. We currently, and that's county-wide as well, We currently have a large recycling roll-off at Delta High School, Middle School, Cowan, Muncie Central, and Inspire Academy. And you can see the tonnage that's pulled in. We cover the fee for that, and it's just to encourage schools to participate and to recycle and collect that material. So we help cover the fee for keeping that box there and transporting it to the recycling sorting facility. And then you just see our numbers that are broken down. Our shred week, we do offer a residential free shredding certificate to anyone who signed up for our recycling program. And basically, they can go up to East Central Recycling and get material shredded for free with that certificate. So that's an incentive for participating in our program. Yard waste, there's always a lot of yard waste to pick up. That's Peterson and residential drop-off that we offer. I want to pay special attention to electronic recycling. So currently we offer curbside pickup for electronics. It's against Indiana law to throw anything with a cord or any electronic into a regular trash toter. So we encourage everybody to recycle their electronics, and they can drop those off at East Central Recycling during regular business hours, or they can call in and we'll help pick some of that material up. But I just want to note that has increased in price and cost significantly. It's doubled what we have to spend to help pay for that processing. So it's an important thing that we offer, but it has increased in price as far as recycling that material. The paint recycling, we do a cool program where we actually collect paint from the community, and then we send it off to be mixed and remixed and turned into paint that the community can use, and we offer that during neighborhood cleanups to different nonprofit organizations to use, and that's a popular program. And then on down, household hazardous waste. We collected 24.47 tons of household hazardous waste last year. That's how many residents, and that's a county-wide program we offer. That's how many residents participated. 1,762 tires were recycled last year. And then sharps, we collected 1,349 pounds of sharps. And just a specific note there that East Central Recycling pays for the disposal of those sharps. And the idea is to keep the sharps out of the waste stream for a safety concern and just keeping them out of the waste stream. Then you go to our trash numbers. Our total trash picked up 29,357.85 tons. That was from the trucks. That is a little bit down, just a little bit, not much, but a little bit down from last year. And then our household drop-off, for those of the public that don't know, every resident's allowed to drop off 2,000 pounds of household residential trash at ECR, and we cover that bill. So that's some numbers there. And just a reminder, we do cover the tipping fees for the Parks Department and some of the Streets Department stuff. And then we also offer the Muncie Mission. We cover the Muncie Mission's tipping fees throughout the year. They drop off quite a bit of material. Last year, 543 tons worth was dropped off by the Muncie Mission. There's our neighborhood cleanup numbers. We had 15 neighborhoods participate total last year. We helped remove 56.20 tons during the neighborhood cleanup. And then the White River cleanup had 252 volunteers, 1.56 tons, and 32 tires were removed from the river. Special note there, when we negotiated our new contract with East Central Recycling, they agreed to freeze our tipping fee for 2 years to help us offset some of our initial startup costs with the new recycle program. So they froze that for 2 years, and just a reminder that starting July 26, the beginning of the third year of this new contract, there will be an annual CPI increase, not to exceed 8%. So that means our tipping fee will go up, and I'll keep you posted on what that will be. And then every year they look at that CPI percentage and they communicate that to us. Going on down, code enforcement numbers, you can see there's quite a few. The code enforcement's been very busy, and they've even been busier lately with our lease toter changes. We passed an ordinance that did some changes to the lease toter fee. So the lease toters are now going from $5 to $10 a month starting March 1st, and some people have asked us to come pick up the ones that they have. and we're working on and rolling those changes out. We have assisted the building commissioner's office and MPD with abandoned camp cleanups. We've done quite a bit of that, and there's quite a bit more to do. So you can see how busy code enforcement's been. And then the mechanic garage, this is just a summary of who the mechanics are seeing. They've been doing an amazing job keeping everybody up and running. But you can see, other than our department, Muncie Fire has quite a few visits with us, and we keep the fire trucks and medics running. But that's just an overview of all the different services that we've provided for different departments. And then truck replacement, we're expecting to receive 2 new automated trucks and potentially a third in June of this year. Just a note, those are significantly delayed. We ordered them in April of 2023, and we're supposed to get the trucks that we ordered in April 2023 in June of 2025. They've been delayed a couple times. And then just a little bit of note about the cost increase with inflation on new trucks. And they're saying how long it takes to get new trucks. And then just other notes here about our discussions related to route optimization. We're still discussing that and looking at that. And I've noted overtime, essential employees in our department and the different times that we're using overtime. Just a reminder, we work every holiday, mandatory holidays, except for Christmas. So we're out there every holiday picking up trash, recycling, and other items. And then our leaf season, neighborhood cleanups, community outreach. Code enforcement is utilized for salting and plowing at fire stations, city hall, 911, and other areas. Mechanic call-ins, and then the CNG station being open 24/7 is something that we have to pay close attention to. And then you go on to just CNG updates. There is some decline in usage from the Muncie Police Department and their vehicles. We need to look at raising our gas gallon equivalent rate because of just costs going up there and what we charge retail. Our gas contract for the CNG station is set to expire in June, at the end of June of 2025 with BP, so we need to be looking at that contract and getting some quotes for that. And then you've been aware of the program for RIN credits that we've been getting, and that's been averaging $5,000 to $6,000 a month coming in for renewable natural gas through the STX contract. Lastly, leaf season is something that we need to continue to discuss. We had to do it a lot different this year, so we do still have quite a bit of bag leaves that we're going to have to address as the weather gets better, and then we need to come up with a game plan for how we're going to address that for this season. And then retirements and opening. I do have an automated operator technician retiring at the end of the year, or at the end of the month, I'm sorry, and I currently have a part-time truck washer laborer position and 1 full-time laborer position open. So that's just a brief overview. If you have any questions, I can take them now, and you can look at that and let me know if you have any other questions later.
All right, thank you, Jason. Mr. Clark?
A lot going on, Jason. Thanks for your work, from recycling to the mechanic work in the garage. I think that's great to be partnering with our affiliates in the city and doing some maintenance to their vehicles. Think you also received the route optimization report there. So I know that's something that we ask you to do, and just other ways of looking at process improvement and how we can balance out some of those routes possibly, and maybe make room for some additional business in the future. So appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Mr. Overton?
Great job as always, Jason. The code enforcement, we made some adjustments there. Have those adjustments been helpful, and are any further adjustments necessary?
They've been extremely helpful. We have 4 full-time code enforcement officers right now. Their duties have picked up, so it's been very helpful. They're staying very busy with, as you can see, the different numbers there. And if you remember our ordinance changes related to cleanouts and bulk items and all of that, I think this year we're going to start to look closely at how we can potentially address these move-out situations that we're dealing with. We had one today where their day, I think, was on, their trash day is actually on Thursday or Friday, and they've had a huge pile out there since the beginning of the week. And that's unacceptable for, anyone to have to deal with that. And there are ways that we put into the ordinance where we can start to address that by potentially charging them for a cleanup. Because we have our service rates that we publish every year. And so code enforcement's done a good job. Basically, it's almost like a case study right now. We're taking pictures of these situations and scenarios, and we're looking at them individually to say, this is something that we need to address, and this is how we're going to address it, and coming up with the best protocol for that. So I anticipate in the spring and summertime, when people want to come out of their house, there'll be even more stuff to do. So they're staying busy, and it's been extremely helpful with the changes that we made. So thank you for supporting that.
Very good.
Mr. Selvey?
Good morning, Jason.
Morning.
Hey, just wanted to say, you omitted one thing from your report. I had heard that you facilitated, because of the efforts to try to keep the hardcore homeless camp somewhat clean and working on that. I think it does matter. I've seen the difference. But your help with the NFPs and community development and getting them an accurate count for the number of homelessness in the community, I think because of your assistance, they finally got probably the first accurate number they've ever got. And that does matter. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was the code enforcement team helping with volunteers to help get an accurate count of where people, there's a point in time count they do annually where basically it's a survey in the community to see where people sleep at night. And our code enforcement team was able to help assist with that in some of the camps and areas that they know where people are at. Thanks for bringing that up, Steve.
All right. Mr. Smith?
Jason, again, thank you, and to all your staff for all the great work you guys are doing on a daily basis. And particularly last year when we came to you about the RINs and the STX contract, that's another line for revenue coming in for the district, and I appreciate your work on that. And I believe you said that's averaging about $5,000 to $6,000
Yes.
a month.
Yep.
Additional line of income. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason, have we ever considered any other facilities beyond Greenway for electronics recycling program?
We have, I've been working with East Central Recycling and the East Central Solid Waste District to try to figure out if there's a better place to take it to. We haven't found a good alternative yet. And I think what happened with that increase was a lot more people are getting rid of those old TVs and stuff. And they hadn't done an increase in a couple years, and so it kind of hit us at once. So, but yeah, we're looking at alternative places that we could potentially take it to help reduce that cost. We have entertained the idea of putting a limit on how much each house can get rid of electronic wise, because it is pretty expensive to deal with a lot of those old electronics. So that's something for us to consider. We do pay those bills through the grant money we receive through the East Central Solid Waste District. So we're working together on that to try to figure out how to address these increasing costs.
That's all I have. We appreciate the report, Jason. Good job from both you and your team, and just gotta stay at it, and hopefully we'll have warmer weather soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Moving into old business, consideration of resolution 2025-02, amending and fixing the schedule of sewer rates and charges to add a nonprofit billing line. We'll basically just open that up. As a refresher, as it is old business, this was adding once again, a nonprofit billing line. It is situated somewhere between commercial billing and residential billing. They have slightly higher usage rates and a lower fixed rate. That's kind of really all there is to it. I will go ahead and make the rounds. Mr. Clark, comments, questions?
Appreciate the work Tim did there. That was obviously a bit of an oversight on our part. We had a large group from the faith community that turned out and reminded us that they should be, as well as the not-for-profits, in their in their own class. So I support the reassigning them this time.
Mr. Overton?
Yeah, I just appreciate everyone's efforts, and we've moved as quickly as we can, and I appreciate all the support.
Mr. Selvey?
Again, Tim did a great job with that.
Mr. Smith?
Tip, again, a great job, and just ditto what they've already said.
I will echo those comments in general. Ben, I believe with us having the public hearing that we can actually vote on it today. Is that correct, Mr. Retz? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2025-02.
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hearing no nays, resolution passed, 2025-02. All right, we will move into new business. We have no new business listed. Mr. Clark, is there any new business you would like to add?
No new business at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Overton?
Not today.
Mr. Selvey?
Nothing.
Mr. Smith?
No new business, thank you.
And I also have no new business. Additional board topics, we'll once again go through the list here. Mr. Clark?
Just looking to March, we have on schedule a first cost savings business meeting with the board and leadership at MSD, something that we started last year and I think has been very beneficial to trying to keep costs down and keeping, as I mentioned earlier, those process improvement ideas flowing. So we have some wins from last year, and I think that we can build on that and always look to keep improving the service that we provide and the money that we spend. So thank you for all that's involved in that. Look forward to that in March.
Mr. Overton?
I agree with Mr. Clark, and just to echo what he said, if the department heads could talk to their workers up and down the line, that would be helpful. Sometimes the best ideas come from the guy on the ground, and so if you could just talk to them, and when that meeting happens, come with their ideas and your own.
Mr. Selvey?
I look forward to coming back and being there in person for the next meeting. And I thank the public and the board for putting up with me in this format.
Mr. Smith?
I have nothing additional.
Per usual, I'll try to say something nice about somebody. Today I'll pick on Mr. Retz and our legal team with Defer Varan. They continue to provide great service to it and to us in the district, and we appreciate their efforts and putting up with some of our questions. So thank you, Joe, especially, but your entire team at Defer Varan has done great work for us. With that said, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hearing no nays, this meeting of the Board of Sanitary Commissioners on February 19, 2025 is hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone.